Afternoon all, how are we all doing? Afternoon David, afternoon Diamond. Just watching this pound US dollar coming down to this level. And we got a propulsion gap which started that upward move, which we're just approaching at the moment. We're down at 125 ADR. I just took a short on this earlier from here, which I got out on the news on. I just wanted to get into a pound US dollar basically ahead of the news. So yeah, pretty good move, and it's still going. So we'll see what happens. Afternoon, Cam. Large opening range today. We haven't had it yet. Hang on. Doesn't open for 7 minutes. I'm going to be trading the Dow today and watching the NASDAQ for a change. I've decided to switch my allegiance to the NASDAQ. Average weekly range has just been hit on the pound US dollar. So pound US dollar and pound New Zealand dollar now both hit their weeklies. Obviously, look at the spike. So basically, we went straight up into this resistance and we've dropped. So watch this area of support. If we get down to here today, this is a very good looking. Why can't I grab that? Oh, because it's a fib. What's that path? Some other fib off of some other chart. So yeah, if we go down to this support today, I would be watching that like a hawk. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, ADR. So lots of ADRs going off all over the place at the moment. But yeah, watch this level on pound US dollar if we get down to there, because we will have basically taken out that high and that low in 48 hours, which is a big move. There's going to be a lot of people sitting on a lot of money here. And as soon as they start taking it, there's going to be a frenzy. Be like feeding time, like chucking a load of meat in the water with a load of piranhas. As soon as that starts to rise and people start seeing bullish price action, they'll all be getting out of their trades, making sure their profit doesn't disappear. So should be fairly good retracement on that. Retracement potentially back up into here. So you can all see my pen now. I fixed my screen so that you can actually see my pen. It works. Whee! I can see it. Hopefully it works, and I'm not saying wee and you can't see anything. Anyway, so going to trade the DAX, the Dow this afternoon for a change, just because I fancy a change. And the Dow has been the most stable one for the last few weeks. You watch today. Today will be the day that it whipsaws like crazy and kills everybody. Just because it's the day I've decided to take it. So DAX this morning had a nice open this morning. So where are we? 10 o'clock there. So the ORB this morning was nice. So there's your open. There's your 15-minute move. You would have been taken out on that pullback unless you had a 100% stop of the range, in which case you would have had twice as much profit. But the pre-market open was nice as well. Straight up. I got stopped out, unfortunately, there on one position, but I made on the second. So I didn't do as well out of this morning. But one of my other set files did very, very well out of that this morning. So I'm running all three set files at the moment. Oh, I don't say I'm running all three. I'm running a pre-market, I'm running a 5, 10, 15, and I'm running a 15 only on 3 different accounts. Because I want to compare the long-term results on them. I'm running them on 3 different prop accounts. So what I'm finding is I'm having small losses and a large win at the moment, which is great. So the idea being, whichever one does the best, I will just withdraw that one and leave the others just to tick over. But so far, nothing's getting anywhere near drawdowns, which is great. So we've got 3 minutes to the open. So ADRs basically, we've got Aussie dollar Swiss big ADR move on that. Let's put out to 15 so we can see. So big, strong push down to 150. We've just started a bounce on that one. The M5 reverse alert and the M15 are pretty much in the same place on the Aussie dollar Swiss. So there's potential there. Aussie dollar, US dollar. That's hit ADR. Any of these US dollars, I'd be a bit careful of. So obviously, we've just had the retail figures, which is why everything's going crazy. Positive across the board, and not just positive, substantially positive. So the core retail sales forecast was a -9 to a +9. We got a 2.3. Huge retail, huge boost for the economy, which again, like the unemployment figures, were not expecting. Empire State Manufacturing Index came out as positive. They were forecasting a -18. We got a -5. So manufacturing still not doing great, but not doing as badly as I thought it was. And basically, this is kind of the rationalized retail sales, which is all retail sales. Core retail sales is the main, your main goods, food, and all that sort of thing. Overall retail sales +3 off of a 1.9, so all positives, really good. Lagarde has been scheduled back to 5 p.m. I thought she was speaking at 2, but that seems to have been pushed back, so we haven't got to worry about her until later. So yeah, all good news on the retail front. So any of these US dollars, if you want to get into mean reversions on them, just be a little careful with these. Because we could see the US dollar pushing quite hard. So if you're going to take US dollar mean reversions today, I would probably start focusing around 150 because we could get 200 ADR days today, especially with things like the pound US dollar, which is very, very weak. We're at 125 already. The pound is weak. So watch for support resistance. With all these ADRs, whenever you're taking a counter trend ADR, I always like to look at where we're going to bounce. So if you don't get in just because we're extended beyond ADR, get in for a reason, propulsion or support area. So anywhere over 150 to 175, that is where I would look to buy pound US dollar for a pullback. And obviously look for where we're going to find resistance on the way back for your target. Don't get greedy with these. But we are very extended pound US dollar. We're down to 15 on RSI, so this is a big strong move. So there's all the ADRs. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but there's lots of them out there. Pound Swiss is actually looking really good. This is just coming down. I was just looking at this on my other chart. We've literally tapped into that bottom to the pip at 150 ADR, and it started to pull back. M5, you didn't get the reverse alert on it. Actually, oh no, you did get one actually, sorry. No, you didn't get one. No. So that was the low. That was the last up candle. So yeah, you didn't get a reversal alert on it there. It was tight. Hit and miss there. It's very, very close to reversing there. But it didn't happen. It's not on the chart at the moment. So that may have triggered. I'm not 100% sure if that triggered or not. It's to the pip. So yeah, depending on your broker, that might have triggered you. But that's the next one. So that would be a good reversal alert to take on this one, pound Swiss for a long. Beautiful targets on the way up. One there, which is really nice. And we've also got this massive propulsion gap they've left in place as well, which will be a few days to get up there. Opening range is in. Short on the Dow. Just going to watch the NASDAQ at the open as well. So I'm short one on the Dow. David, got on Euro Swiss sell as per sentiment yesterday. Retail buying, and I thought it came good area to short. Hi, Warren. Euro Swiss. So retail sentiment on Euro Swiss. That's one of the Swissies. It's down here, isn't it? 66% are long. So yeah, nice short opportunity. Very nice. So we're pushing back out of the lows at the moment on the Dow. So yeah, nice short. Very good. I've got the retail sentiment EA running. Might get stopped out on this one. Let's just watch the NASDAQ. I'll show you what's going on with the retail sentiment EA in a second, because it's been live testing. I need to go through the results and just check it's actually been trading properly. But so NASDAQ's pushing up inside as well. So you're pre-15 on the NASDAQ, you've gone long. If you're taking the pre-market 15. Stopped out on the short on the Dow. You watch today. It's going to be sod's law, isn't it? This thing has been like a steam train all week, and last week the Dow is just like, yep, we're off. We're going to put in these beautiful breaks of the pre-market 15. And we've looked at it and gone, I really wish I was trading the Dow because I was trading the NASDAQ. Now I'm trading the Dow. You watch this thing whipsaw me 3 times. It's just going to happen, isn't it? You know it's going to happen. The day I switch, and you watch, the NASDAQ will just fly now. It's always the way. Always the way. We got 1 minute 45. I really hope this closes back inside this range because I want to get this short on again, just in case. So NASDAQ's pushing up, trying to get the highs of the Globex session, which isn't far away. So the sentiment EA. Which VPS is that on? That one. Yeah. So the sentiment EA basically has been running on this account on every single pair. So it's been running every pair and updating, obviously. It's banked 3,158. Started on the 6th of February. Where are we now? 15th. So around about 10 days. Don't know how many trading days that is, but so it's banked 3K, just over 331. And it's sitting in $1,000 a drawdown at the minute. So, and this is basically all this is doing is taking reversals at yesterday's high or low, or last week's high or low against sentiment. And that's literally all it's doing. $3,000 in 2 weeks. Sitting in drawdown. This drawdown has gone up to about 3.5-ish. I haven't been keeping a close eye on it, but so yeah, it's working really well. These counter sentiment trades, and all it's doing is it's scaling in and getting out in the same way as I've position trading. It's doing the same thing. I've got it set to half an ADR, I think. Distance between trades, yeah, half an ADR. So yeah, doing well, doing really well. The sentiment EA. Okay, reset. So basically, we just got a complete whipsaw candle at the open there. So I've reset short again. So let's see where we go from here. Afternoon, Luke and Neo. I've also set up the market reversal alerts EA. I've set that up on some accounts as well, running the hedging set file because I wanted to revisit the hedge set file because it's one of those set files I never actually touched. I'd set it up and tested the strategy, developed the strategy, but it's a little bit too risky for me hedging. But I've just set it up to do drawdown control automatically. So I've set it running on every pair on a demo account, and I'm going to watch and see what that does. It's sitting in about 4K a drawdown at the moment because it's obviously got 28 pairs open. It's trading everything. Obviously, it's designed to hedge, so it trades everything all the time. So I just want to see what level of drawdown that goes into with drawdown control because I've got a plan for potentially passing prop with it, but I need to see what the upper limits are. So I thought I'd live test it rather than back test it. Afternoon, Big Papa. Right, so we're still sitting inside bar at the moment, pretty much. Just made a new high. So not an awful lot of movement on the Dow today so far. Nasdaq's testing highs. Looks like we're going to break out the highs. and have a go long. Thinking. Okay, long on the Dow. Nasdaq's testing the highs, pre-market, going for the Globex highs. It's going to do it, isn't it? You know it's going to do it. You know it is going to just double whipsaw me today because I've watched this thing bank 2K a day for the last week, and now I'm trading it live. It decides to whip me out. I just know it. The Forex gods of Dow are looking down going, there we go, break out of the high. I've got 100% trailer running on the opening range. So the trailer is running at 570-ish. David, I love the hedging set file. I look for a pair that has been super choppy and place it there. It's been on pound New Zealand lately. Yeah, I'm running it on everything at the moment because I want to get a really good overview of how it's trading. Not so much how it's trading. I know how it's trading. It's just trading RSI extensions, but I'm more interested in the drawdown control element of managing the drawdown control on it. Because what I'm looking for it to do, this one, yeah. So it's this one here. So it's hedging. As you can see, it's hedging everything constantly. So it's banked $1,800. Only set this running yesterday. And it's in 4/7 drawdown. So basically it's automatically doing drawdown control. So I'm just, I've set it up. I think I've set it up to do DD control. 0.5%. Yeah. So when we're half an ADR basically. No, sorry. That's not drawdown control. Sorry. Yeah, so 0.75. So when we are 3/4 of an ADR in drawdown, it will close a third out. So I'm just testing this setting initially. I think it needs to close out more because it's getting into too much drawdown. So I want to make sure it gets me out of drawdown trades quicker. This is too much. Too fast. But I want to see how quickly it can accumulate a 8% target within the drawdown limit. So it's a little experiment I'm running. Okay, Dow has just basically popped its head out the highs. Nasdaq has failed to get the Globex high. Bit whippy today, isn't it? But yeah, what I will do with the hedging set file is I will basically be using the bias scorecard and looking for anything that is range bound, basically. So I'll be taking all the range bound pairs and placing it on these because we're not expecting there to be a squeeze on these pairs. So these pairs obviously will still push and pull, but because there's no massive bias in either direction, I wouldn't anticipate a squeeze. So the hedge file should be pretty safe in these. And the other thing I'll probably do is filter out anything that's plus or minus 4 on COT. So anything that's got a 0 COT bias, or maybe the ones as well. So there's no institutional bias in either direction. There's no fundamental bias in either direction. And then the only thing that's going to affect you is retail sentiment, which is fine because we want that pushed and pulled around. We need the movement, but what we don't want is a strong currency bias. So the pound has got no massive advantage over the yen, for example, whereas at the moment the pound has got a massive disadvantage to the US. So you shouldn't be running a hedge set file on that. So that's my plan, is to basically just pick these pairs, which are expected to be more tight ranged, and look and focusing on those. But I'll see. It's all a plan at the moment. We just got another ADR. I think that was Aussie New Zealand. I think I just saw there. No. What's the time? Wasn't RSIs, was it? Aussie something. Aussie US probably. No. Don't know. Something else. There's loads of ADRs going off all over the place today. So Nasdaq's testing Globex highs. Dow, we're out the highs. Break even stop. Risk-free trade. Hopefully we can get a push without pullback. And see if we can test some of these highs on the Dow as well. So we haven't quite got there yet. Still finding sellers at these highs at the minute. Come on, Dow, don't stop me out. The only thing is that hedging would have to be done on a live account. I think you're only allowed a certain amount of hedged positions on my Forex funds. I don't think so. Don't think there's a limit on that. I haven't seen a limit anyway. There's nothing in the rules about hedging. You're not allowed to use arbitrage strategies, but this isn't arbitrage. This is hedging. It's different. Arbing is a different thing. But if you want, if you are having a problem with that, you know, this is the thing with the you know, the FIFO rules and no hedging in the US. If you want to hedge in the US, you can do it, not a problem. All you do is you open 2 accounts with the same broker. You go long on one and short on the other. You're not hedging. You've got 2 separate accounts, 2 separate positions. It is a hedge. You're just managing it over 2 brokers or 2 accounts. So the FIFO rules, you know, this hedging rule is all a load of rubbish. I can hedge whenever I like. All I need is 2 brokers. So, but I'm not aware that my Forex funds has got that rule. I think it's either yourself or someone's mentioned it before. I've been hedging with my Forex funds for over a year. No one's ever said you can't do it. I've been withdrawing from my accounts and no problems. So stopped out the Dow. Gutted. I think that's me done for the day on the Dow. I don't think it's going to pull back into that area. We'll see. Might do. 28 seconds. I need it close below that pre-market open. Otherwise, I'm not going to get another position on. And if this goes, it's going to go without me. So yeah, I don't know about the hedging rules. As I say, you've seen me in here. I've been hedged on here, on the opening range breakout EA. They haven't flagged me on it at all. I've withdrawn from accounts that I've hedged on. So don't know. But there's always a way around it. Always a way around it. You run the opening range breakout EA on 2 accounts. One of them you say go long only. The other one you say go short only. There's always a way. Okay, so I've reset long again. This is a whippy old session, isn't it, today? So 1 loss, 1 break even so far. Pound CAD, ADR, Aussie CAD, ADR was the other one that just happened. Lots of ADR reversal opportunities today, all over the place. Big movement. Afternoon, Brian. So this does look like it wants to go long, but it's very whippy at the minute. It's, you know, this is what this, and the other thing that's different today that has not been the same, has it, all week? We've been watching this all week and all last week. And every single day, without fail, the Dow has gone in one direction, the Nasdaq's gone in the other. What does it do the day I decide to trade it? They both go the same bloody way. The one condition I've been watching all week going, wow, this is awesome, hasn't happened the one day I go and trade it. It's almost as if they're watching. Long again on the Dow. Okay, so 15-minute opening range is in as well. So there's your 15-minute. So looking for a break of that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take off this break-even stop because the break-even stop is killing me. I'm just going to use the trailer because it's a little bit too tight. 200, 20 points for break-even is a bit tight. with this price action we've got today. It's a bit too big for a 20 point. This NASDAQ, if we do break that Globex high, we're going to get a little bit of a flush out the highs, I think. So that should push the Dow with it. Because on the NAS, if you look, the new high target is going to be yesterday's high. So if we break the Globex highs, there's nothing to stop us really until we get up to yesterday's high, which is quite a distance. And obviously we'll get dragged along on the Dow up to the Globex high. And on the Dow, yesterday's high is absolutely miles away. So it's all the way up there. I doubt very much the Dow will get up there, but the NASDAQ, if we do get a break of that high, we've got a really nice run. So if we get a pop, we've got a really good chance of getting a nice trend day today. But at the moment, it's not looking like it really can get kick-started. Afternoon, Alan. NASDAQ's just retesting again, failing to get through again. Dow's getting beaten back down again. Couldn't make it up, could you? Literally. The one day I decide to switch my allegiance, the Dow decides to do exactly the same as the NASDAQ's been doing for the last week. Love it. Come on, Nas. What's the S&P up to? S&P's doing even worse. Go on, NASDAQ. Let's get a pop. Pop. No. This is really seller heavy by the looks of things. Really, buyers are just struggling to get any traction at all on this. So I get the feeling we're going short. Structure at the moment is short. We're expecting a strong US dollar, which would indicate indices going down. So I think this is probably going to collapse out the lows. Unless this NASDAQ can beat this high, I don't think we've got any chance this morning, this afternoon. Be a flip short. We'll see. It's not really going anywhere, is it, at the moment? No one's got any bias. There goes the NAS on the high. So that's a Globex high retested. Wouldn't exactly call that a pop, would you? There we go. There's the pop. Okay, so we've managed to break the highs. So obviously it took a lot of pressure to get through there. Everybody that was short was just puked and flipped long. So we should get a rally now to the upside, which should hopefully push the Dow. And I'm going to get into a second ad on the 15-minute high. So NASDAQ, if it can hold this high and doesn't get overwhelmed by sellers up here, we've got a nice little run, potentially 60-point run to the upside. So let's see what the see if we've got some buyers to back this up. Big Papa, is the opening range breakout? Is the opening range BO strategy? That's not a question. Is the opening range breakout strategy? Oh, is this the opening range? Sorry, I'm not reading. Yes, this is the opening range breakout strategy. Yeah. This is on the website. So this is the ORB EA running here. It's trading it for me. The strategy is on the website in the strategy section. Okay, we got sellers coming back on board. Look, so they didn't manage to get through there. Took a lot of work to get that pop. So we may well be running out of buyers. It feels really heavy, doesn't it? Look at the wicks. Feels heavy. Feels like it wants to drop, but we did manage to break that high. S&P hasn't managed to break the high, so we've got divergence on the S&P with the NASDAQ. So difficult one to read today. I take Stretch Vader is getting a workout. He's not at the moment, actually, Brian. He's on my desk here. This is Stretch Vader. Ow. But because my arm hurts, I can't really stretch him. I've got no power in my left arm at all at the moment. So he's not getting much of a workout at the minute. Okay, so NASDAQ, we've got a new higher low on the NASDAQ. So at the present, we're just pulling back. So we need to see some buying coming in here. Otherwise, I don't hold up much hope for a break to the upside today. I am expecting this to drop today because of the US dollar. So obviously, we've had all that bullish news on the US. So we would expect the US dollar to be pumping, which would tend to bring the indices down. And at the moment, the US dollar is actually doing pretty well. So I would expect the indices to actually come down today. Just going to stop out on this long. There we go. Stopped out on the long. So let's see if we can get some sell momentum in. So we've got an outside bar on the NASDAQ. Very bearish. So we'd be looking to flip short here. I'd like to take a sell on the NASDAQ as well, actually. Might do that manually. Going short one on the NASDAQ as well. I'm just going to move this over. Okay, short on the Dow, 3. Whoa. Way too tight stop loss trailer on that. Aussie dollar, US dollar, 125 ADR. So still strong US dollar push. Just waiting for this to pull back a little bit. Potentially add another short onto this. I just don't want to get stopped out. Stops are a little bit tight on this. Come on, don't stop me out again. This is ridiculous. Look at this. No, don't you dare. Get down. Okay, adding another sell stop on the NASDAQ. So looking for a break of this low, basically, to come and test these lows and hopefully get a pop out the lows there. This is going to stop me out. Look, I'm too tight. My stops are too tight today. It's because I'm not used to trading the Dow. I've no idea what to set my stops at on this thing. I've got no set files or anything. That's a 1200. That's a 120 point candle. Look. Jeez. Wow. Got me out. Okay, so I'm going to get in short again. Still like it short, but too tight stop today, trailers. So adding one short on the NAS on the break. We're trading straight down into potential support here, but if we break this level and we break that level, obviously we've got loads of room to the downside. Here it goes. Look, this is a nightmare. There were 2.79s. So I'm sticking this on manually. Just gonna manually take a trade on this. Way too tight. Way too tight. Look, what did I say at the start of this? Even before this market opened, I said, you watch today. Today, they're just going to whip me. They're going to whipsaw the market because I'm trading it. Typical. Okay. Euro pound 150 ADR. Wow. %66% of the market is short euro pound. Boing. Off we go. So I've just realized I've changed that on this chart, which should be trading the NASDAQ. Oh dear. I want to break my my EA. Found a way around FIFO rule with my broker by offsetting lot size. Can you set different that up in the ORB, or would it have to be manual? Don't know what that means. Different lot size for each direction, you mean? No, you can't. No. You would have to do it manually. The best way to do it with your broker is to have two accounts. Open two accounts with your broker, and in the EA settings, set one to go only long, one to go only short. That's the best way to do it. Big Papa, watched your Bootcamp Part 1 video. You talked about how the bank's institutional take retail traders by order, then whipsaw them. Why are you using this breakout strategy where fake out occurs often? Because it's a good strategy. This has nothing to do with the bootcamp at all. This is a Jesus. Just cancelling that pending order. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the bootcamp at all. The bootcamp is about position trading. This is a stop loss strategy. And this is trading momentum. You need to go and read up on the opening range breakout strategy. Totally different strategy. My God, look at this thing today. I can't believe we've got so much strength in the US dollar, and yet the indices have got so much whipsaw. Crazy. Right, RSIs. We'll have a quick look at the RSIs while we're waiting for this thing to figure out what the hell it wants to do today. So there's loads of RSIs on the hourly and some very, very extended things. Most of them are US dollar based, Aussie dollar, US dollar. Very extended on the hourly. We're down at 125 ADR. So a lot of these are extended, ready for mean reversion trades on the RSI as well as obviously ADR. So you've got a nice propulsion gap to aim for there on the Aussie US. Drop down, M5, wait for the reversal alert, trade that back up. So there's a good opportunity there. Aussie US. Obviously, anything you take against the US today, be careful. Yeah, this thing could drop 175, 200 ADR today. So make sure you don't just jump in for jumping in's sake. Wait till you get a reversal alert. Make sure there is some buyers on side before you get in. Aussie dollar, US dollar is massively extended. Euro pound is massively extended to the upside though, which is exactly the way I'd want to trade it. So I wouldn't want to mean revert that. But saying that, it's very, very, very exhausted. We're up at 150 ADR. So it's going to pull back at some point. There's going to be a profit take, but that level there is potentially where we're coming down to. So you haven't got a lot of room on this. 221 pips. It's hardly anything, 15 pips by the time you get the reversal alert. So it's either going to do a nice profit take or it's not. And if it doesn't, you're going to be a bit stuck on that. Let me just quickly get just realized I'm watching the DAX rather than the Dow. So yeah, Euro pound very extended on the hourly as well. And obviously that is an ADR hit too. So big extension there. It will profit take. How deep? I don't know. But that's a hell of a propulsion gap to aim for, isn't it? So pretty good move down to there, I think, is on the cards. Pound CAD is extended, pound Swiss. So all the pounds basically really weak at the moment. They're all shorts. I've been looking to get onto these shorts all week. So they're all playing out now nicely. Pound US dollar, that's the worst of the lot, 15. But again, this is weak pound off of the news this morning, strong US off of the news this afternoon. So this thing's coming down like a house of cards. Mean reverting this, not really. I'd wait until we get down to a decent area of support, as I said earlier. So 175 ADR, 200 ADR, that's where I'll probably look. It needs to be really, really, really exhausted to get interested in that. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, again, massive extension. Again, all these US dollars are bullish, should be short on everything against the US dollar. So these are going to be mean reversion trades, obviously, against the trend. US dollar CAD, obviously extended to the opposite side. So that's come back up and filled the propulsion gap. We are finding some sellers here. So potentially this could pull back from here. This is the one that's probably got the most chance of actually doing a reversal, the Canadian dollar, because the Canadian dollar moves with the US. So when the US starts to weaken, the CAD will probably push. We've got oil this afternoon in 25 minutes as well, which might give the Canadian dollar a bit of a boost. But we'll see. Not far away from getting stopped out on that Dow trade. Potentially good area to start looking for shorts if we are going short, but we want to fight that, would you? Okay, so I'm hedged. I'm short and long at the same time now. This is an utter mess this afternoon. Utter mess. It's just going to liquidate me this afternoon. So it's just got me in long and now it's pulling back. Cheers, DAX, Dow even. I'd rather you stop me out and went long. There you go. Thank you. Right. So I'm flip long again. This is whippy, isn't it? Look at this. 68-point move. NASDAQ, this looks like short to me. I don't like this long at all. I'm just going to let it take me out. I much prefer this short than long, based on what the NASDAQ's doing. But this thing is just an utter whipsaw today. So I'm going to give it another couple of goes to try and get on a runner. Best case scenario today, I might scrape a break even. I'm not going to make any profit. It's too whippy today. but I prefer it short than long. I'm just toying with the idea whether I get out now. Yeah, I'm going to get out now. Oh, it's going to take me out anyway. Too late. I'm already taken out. Right. So yeah, shorts. Let me just take my trailing stop off. I'm not going to trail this. And I'm going to add to it. So selling DAX, NASDAQ rather, trailer off. I'm going to manually manage this. I don't want to trail it. It's too whippy. It's the candles are twice the size of normal. You can't use any trailing stops in this kind of scenario. You just need to let the trade play out. Just getting ready to sell another one on the NASDAQ. Just waiting for us to get a little bit lower than these lows. I'm going to be selling into support, I know, but waiting basically for some movement down below this area here. Okay, selling one more. NASDAQ. Oh, slipped. That was a big slip. Okay, and I'm adding a sell stop to get in one more position, which is a break of this low. So that third position on the NASDAQ is going to be after we've broken that low. And then we should get a flush to the downside. I really want to add one to the... I'll do it manually. I'll wait. Starting a sell stop underneath that low as well for the Dow. Oh my God. I didn't change my stops. Do you know what? I think I'm going to give up this afternoon. I literally can't do this afternoon at all. I'm so unfocused on this at the moment. My stops are way too tight. God, how to cock it up. Right. It's because when I switched, this was set to 500, 600 before. I switched charts by accident, didn't I? Switched back and it reset all this. So this has all now been reset. This is useless operator fat fingering. Nothing to do with the EA. It's the idiot driving it. Oh, how to lose $1,500 in a second. My God. You make it up today. Anyway. Let's go back to something that we do know how to do, position trade. So yeah, New Zealand dollar, US dollar CAD. Anything that's massively extended on the US, just be careful because there's a good chance that this US is going to carry on and just push today, all day. It's not unusual when we get good news on the US dollar for a 200 ADR. 150, 175. So just be careful of these if you're going to mean revert them. I would always try to mean revert at a level of support and resistance. So 125, we've got a little bit there, but 150 US dollar CAD is where I'd sort of look for that one. 20 minutes time, we've got news. So for the oil, so we might get some movement off of that one. And US dollar yen, again, that's massively extended on the hourly. That's also extended on the 4 hourly as well. So big, strong push up on that one. So again, but you know, I'd be waiting on these, and especially with the yens at the moment. So lots of opportunities. The only things extended on the 4 hours at the moment are the yens. So these are good opportunities to get in shorts on, all three of those, if you are so inclined to go short on the yen. So yen is very difficult at the moment to decide what to do with. It's the COT report last time I saw it, and again we haven't got it out, so it's difficult to actually factor in at the moment, but the market is saying to long against the yen at the moment, whereas I'm more inclined to say shorting it based on all the interventions that they keep doing. So every time the market pushes against the yen, they intervene and dump it. So I'd be looking really for shorts up here on all of these. So they're all pretty good spots at the moment for taking shorts, but it's all down to when the Japanese intervene again, isn't it? So they're all up at highs. So anything that's extended, good opportunities for shorts. Right, what's this mess doing? Okay, so short now, Dow, 4 positions. And short 3 on the NASDAQ. What a mess. Dixie coming into propulsion gap on the 4-hour. Could see sellers coming in pending oil. Could do, yeah. Anything can happen. Just about to get stopped out on one of the NASDAQs. There we go. That was the one that had too tight a stop on it. Oh my God. Right, that's it. I'm out. I'm done. These are my last trades. This market is just not right this afternoon. I'm just going to close, cancel. All right, I'm out. Done. Lost 1,800, so I can't push anymore. I'm not even going to go for my 2.5 loss limit. So this will be me out with 2.5%. That's my loss for the day. Can't do anymore. So give up. Market's just basically manufactured to make money off of itself this afternoon. No one's going to make anything on this. Too whippy. So just carry on with the position trades, basically. I would forget about trying to scalp this afternoon. Unless you're going to use whacking wide stops on it. You need to be looking at stops somewhere in the region of 140 points. Bear in mind, this thing only moves 500 points a day. You're looking at around about a quarter of an ADR per candle. It's just not tradable this afternoon. Would be. It's the one day, isn't it? The day I decide to flick over to this thing. Mind you, this wouldn't have been any better today, would it? Utter whipsaw all day, like so far since the open. What a mess. So yeah, either this dumps and gets me back that, well, it's not even going to get me that back today. What am I down? 1370. So tell you what I'm going to do. So we've got one down there. Go with ADR on the other two. So that basically will be around about $1,200. So either this is going to break the lows and flush, which would be $1,300, pretty much break even, or it's going to stop me out and it'd be 2.5% loss. Can't get anything out of this today. It's just no point in trying. It literally is just whipsaw. So, what a pain in the backside. Never mind. Anybody made any money today? Or was everybody else getting chopped to pieces? If you're taking the 15-minute, you've literally had one entry and probably a stop out on trailer. and second entry, which is currently in drawdown. So the 15-minute obviously has been less volatile than the pre-market, but every single day this week, the pre-market's just gone, hasn't it? Apart from today. So again, this sums up my February. It really does. This February has just been the most frustrating open I've ever had. Unbelievable. You should have said pain in the neck. Yep, I should have done, shouldn't I? What a pain in the neck. This is a pain in the neck. It's about to hurt as well. I need to cancel these pendings. One sec. Whoa, don't want to go long. I'm not trading anymore. We just turn the EA off. That's me done. I am not trading that. Yeah, it is a pain in the neck. My God, look at this thing. You couldn't even make money on a coin flip on this today. The only way to make money on this today is to enter and exit on the same candle. That's the only way you could possibly make money on this, is by getting in and getting out before the candle closes. Look at it. So first candle liquidated everybody. Second candle liquidated everybody long. Third candle liquidated everybody short. Everybody long again. If anybody longed that double bottom, they got liquidated on the second candle. And now everybody that's shorted on the breakout has just been liquidated on that candle. Literally double-ended stop hunt on every single move. Show me a way to make money out of that, and I'll bite your arm off. I've kept my powder dry this afternoon, but I'm sure if I put in a short from the high, that's when it will take off long. Absolutely, it will. Yeah. So I'm 1780 down now, 400 drawdown. In fact, I'm going to reduce risk. I'm not even interested. I didn't put a stop on that, did I? Whoops. So yeah, if it breaks the 15-minute open, I'm out. If it doesn't, fine. Complete shit show. Absolutely. Get days like this. Nothing you can do about it. This is what I mean about this, so far this month, it's been 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's how it feels at the minute. Position trading's going absolutely fine, but this is just unbelievably annoying so far this month. Let's have a look at what I'm pretty sure all of the EAs will have got killed. See what all the accounts have done on the Dow this afternoon. So that would be NASDAQ. Yeah, so 1,500 down on that one, 2 grand down on that one, 500 down on that one, 300 floating. Dow, max loss. That's only taken one because it's trading the pre-market. It's trading the post-market 15, so it's only in one position at the moment. Yeah, slaughtered. Slaughtered across the board. What you can do there. It could grab more money before it goes down. Yeah, it will. I mean, yeah, I'm right here. If you want it, come and get it, and then you can collapse. I don't care what you do. If you take me out, that's it. I'm shutting my charts. I'm not looking at it anymore. So nothing you can do about it. But yeah, if the super scalpers who are getting in and out into candle, they'll probably be laughing at that this afternoon. But then the super scalpers getting in and out in every candle never catch the large moves that I do. So there's always a way to make money. You just don't know which way it's going to be each day. Does my Forex funds require stops? No. No, so you don't have to use a stop loss with my Forex funds. So opportunities on ADR reversals, there's lots of those out there today. So I would watch these this afternoon for potential opportunities. Just try and fall in line if you can with bias. So I don't think there's anything that falls in line with bias at the moment. From a sentiment perspective, there might be. In fact, I don't think there is. Yeah, there is some. So Euro yen long and Euro odd long. Missed it. Missed it. So they've played out very nicely today. US dollar yen, US dollar CAD, both longs. Again, we know they've played out well today. So US dollar CAD's already gone. US dollar yen's already gone. So those both played out. Euro pound is a long and Euro CAD is a long. Euro pound, lovely. Euro CAD, mixed. Came straight up into propulsion, that one. So yeah, I mean, if you were taking targets on that accumulation would have been where I'd have got out. I may or may not have made money out of that one. Probably not. Pound US dollar short and Aussie US dollar short. All look great. So all the sentiment trades worked well today. We know that worked. We know that worked. We know that worked. We know that worked. That worked. That worked. That worked. So they're all doing exactly what they should be. So there's not a lot actually looking at these ADRs. Most of these ADRs are in line with the way that you should have been trading. So mean reversions on them are a little bit risky, but saying that, you know, they've moved a long way. So 150 ADR. This is down in that support zone now on the pound Swiss. So push back up into propulsion gap. Good looking long. You got almost half an ADR potentially on that one. Euro pound, if you want to short it, that's about to give you a reverse, just about to give you a reverse alert on M5. Again, that's got 40, almost an ADR to the downside, basically, on that one's propulsion. So there's a long way to drop on that. Euro odd. Don't like that as much. Got a reverse alert already happened this morning at 150 ADR, but it's just given one back in the other direction. So it's obviously just accumulating at the minute. But potentially, if you look at it on M15, that is a beautiful M pattern reversal. So there is a good possibility of that coming back down to test yesterday's high for a continuation bounce. So that looks like that's probably not a bad trade short. Got 50 points to the downside on that, almost half an ADR. Right. Rejecting that high. Good job I cancelled that pending order. Look. It still looks short. It still looks short to me. You know, market structure, although it's an absolute mess since we pushed and pulled, yeah, it is bearish market structure still. Still feels heavy, but my God, there's just a battle of all battles going on at the moment, isn't there? No one is winning either way at the minute. I bet there's a lot of futures traders streaming right now, getting very sweary at their screens. In futures, you're trading $12 a tick. That's going to hurt. Scalping gold has been almost perfect this afternoon. Yeah, well, scalping gold, I mean, there's nothing, obviously today, I said this morning, you hit the short button on gold this morning, you're going to make money because we're expecting US dollar strength. And that's exactly what we got. So, yeah. Difficult not to make money with anything US. As I say, I had a really lovely trade out of the Pound US this afternoon. We got the figures as expected, better than expected, and we got the result which we expected. But this little thing was not as expected. Yeah, look at that mess as well. Look, gold after we got the move sideways. If you were scalping it on the 1 minute time frame, pretty much every oh, you wouldn't have got a reverse alert. Where would you have got a reverse alert? You'd have got one there. Actually, you'd have got one, yeah, there. You'd have got one there. That would have stopped out. You got one there. A couple of scalps on gold on 1 minute if you're trading 1 minute, but too fast for me. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I got a horrible feeling I'm just going to get stopped out on this Dow and then it's going to collapse. Nothing I can do about it. So we'll see what happens. But it's either going to go south. I will add to this. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch the Dow over onto there, onto the 15 minute. And I'm going to put a sell underneath that low. What should I go? Half that range. So 800. So I'm going with the sell stop under that last candle there. Stop mid-range there. So if these wicks to the high here are indicative of, yeah, we are not going any higher today, then I would expect this to break to the downside. So I'll have those two positions on and I'll add on a break of that candle and look for a flush. But that's literally it today. If that doesn't happen, I'm just going to stop out on that one and I'll cancel that pending off. But see if I can get a runner to the downside. That's all we can do with it, really. It may well just sit in this range. If it just sits in this range all day, then yeah. We will bounce back, as David just said. Yeah, you get these frustrating days and there's nothing you can do about them. You just have to take them on the chin, reset. Tomorrow morning is a completely new session. Tomorrow morning, the DAX will just trade it. It will fly. It'll be $4,000 in the bank. But you get these days where it does not want to give you any money and you just have to give up and say, yep, you win. You won today. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But this is the thing that I, with the ORB EA, I know these days exist because I've back tested it to death and I've seen these days playing out over and over again. I know they happen. Just doesn't make it easy when they happen. Oil inventories are out, 330. We are 0.65 on a forecast of no forecast. Wednesday. Forecast 1.5. We got 16.3 negative. Wow, that's a big miss. Look at that. Forecasting 1.5 million barrels. We get 16.3 million. Who's doing the forecasting for OPEC? They need a shooting. Right, so that's obviously affecting the indices as well. That'll be affecting the US dollar. Going to stop out on that and just cancel that pending. Not interested. Oil. Yeah, big drop, oil price, and a gap. Probably find that's affected the US as well. Not so much. Yeah, oil did not like that. So we were looking at oil this morning, just before I go. for a potential pullback area into yesterday's low. So I was looking for this area here to get retested for potentially taking a long, and then obviously using this area as a backup for going long, assuming that we're going to come up and retest the highs. So if this does drop, this is worth waiting for some kind of signal to go long on. So if it drops, obviously it doesn't look like it wants to at the moment. It's going to come and fill that gap first. But stopped out on the Dow. Nasty. It doesn't look like it's going to do it. So that low there yesterday is what I would be looking at. And then the other level is the previous day's low, which is there. So yesterday's low and the previous day's low, or the previous week's low on Friday, rather. That those two levels there is what I was looking for. It's not going to get there. Look, they're buying it up. So if you want to take this oil from here, potentially just take a break of this high or that high for a long. You're not going to get a reversal alert on it because it's literally just going sideways at the moment. Diamond, I love your optimism. Even when having a bad day, your mindset is outstanding. Yes. There's that long we were talking about, yeah. Yeah, you just got to get on with it, unfortunately. You have to erase, when you're using a stop loss on any strategy, you have to erase the previous session. So if you're trading the morning session, forget the morning session. When you're trading the afternoon session, the morning session didn't happen. The afternoon session is a completely different session. Tomorrow morning's DAX, doesn't matter what happened today. It's got nothing to do with tomorrow morning. Get on with tomorrow morning. You just got to erase. And you've also got to have the willpower to stop. That's the thing that kills people. Yeah. A lot of people, when they have a session like this, will be going, right, now it's going long. I'm going long. And they'll hit the long button there. And then it will come down, it will take them out, and they go, right, screw you, I'm going short. I'm going to double my lot size. Go short, bang, there's your account gone. This situation causes you to overtrade. Takes a lot to walk away and go, take my $2.5 grand. I don't care. I know I can get it back. But you've got to do it. If you don't do it, you end up overtrading. And overtrading is how you blow everything. Once you've overtraded a session, everyone's been through it. It happens to everybody. You get into a session, and all of a sudden you lose. And you have that losing run, and you can't get out of that rut. And you go, right, I've dropped 10K. I'll come back tomorrow. The first thing you're going to do tomorrow is double your lot size, because you've not just got to make money now. You've got to get 10K back from yesterday. That's not going to be easy to do with just the normal lot size I take. So I have to go bigger. 2 losing sessions in a row. That's it. You're out. And you cannot trade without capital. Capital preservation rule number 1. I'm down 2.5%. That's it. I'm off. Bye-bye. I've lost today. You have to have that mindset. Throw martingale in the mix and you're toast. Now, this is the other thing, Brian, isn't it? Throwing martingale in the mix works sometimes. And that's the other thing that screws people over. So tomorrow, instead of going in with 0.5% risk, I'm going with 1% risk per position. All of a sudden, bang, I've got it back. And you're like, wow, okay, brilliant. Got my money back. Next time you try martingale, it doesn't work that way. And you lose twice as much as you would have lost. So instead of losing 2.5, you lose 5. And it's not until you've done martingale a few times you realize, actually, yeah, it never works long term. Short-term memory loss. That's it. You've got to wipe your memory. Just make sure you don't take that loss that breaks your account. That's the thing. Live to fight another day. Yeah. Euro pound is short. No, I would be long euro pound. If you want to take an ADR reversal, yeah. You just had a reversal alert on that. Yeah. So there's your short. if you want to take it short. But you're trading against sentiment on that. It's a buy, and against fundamentals. Prop positioning is long. Retail are short. Fundamentals are long. So it's a long. If you weren't on the long today, you've missed it. But if you want to take a mean reversion, yeah, this thing could come all the way back down into here, no problem. I think you'll find it will get bought up here. So that's where I would look to buy it. But if you want to counter trend it. You can make money both ways in the market. It's up to you whether you go long or short. Whatever you do, manage risk. If you're going to go short, stop there. TP there. If you're going to position trade it, though, I wouldn't go short. I would go long. Depends what style of trading you're using. If you're position trading it, long it. Not from here, obviously, because it's extended. You want to wait for a pullback. But if you're just using a stop loss strategy and you're doing mean reversion, you're only looking for a 1.5 hour reward, aren't you, with mean reversion? Maybe 2. So if you're getting in on that reversal alert that's just happened, or let's say you're getting on the 15-minute reversal alert there, you stop. So you're looking at somewhere in the region of 20 point stop, 35 reward, 1.5 hour. Perfect for mean reversion. Shouldn't be looking for anything more than 1.5 on a mean reversion trade. Because you're counter trend. Mean reversion is always counter trend, isn't it? Most of the time. So you should be looking for small rewards and high strike rate. So yeah, there's definitely a short there. If you've got in on that one, yeah, you got a 15 point and a 46 point reward. So that's a very nice 2.5 plus reward on that one. But you're selling into a very strong bull move off of negative fundamentals. So it's risky. Look at this thing today. Look at it. It's just nasty, isn't it? It's like it's not just sticking the knife in. It's sticking the knife in and twisting it, and then pulling it out and sticking it in again. It's really not in a very good mood today, is it, the Dow? ADR Aussie New Zealand. So we just got an Aussie New Zealand hit. That is a short, I think. Yeah, Aussie New Zealand's a short from a COP perspective. Retail is slightly short on it as well, so you want to be longing it. But so yeah, this is a bit of a mixed one. Pretty good area for a buy, look, at ADR in a propulsion gap. So we got this level here. Potentially, you got this level here. So that zone there, below 120, 100 ADR, there's a good chance of a pop out the bottom of that, isn't there? Much easier to handle when you're already in the money. The ORB made me 1.7 yesterday and went down 1.7 today. Yeah. Giveth with one hand, taketh with the other. That's what it feels like at the minute. But if you look at it, yeah, I mean, if you look at the market at the moment on a daily basis, right? Look at what's happening. Yeah. We're wondering why we're getting chopped around on certain days. It's easy to see what's going on at the moment. The market is in indecision. So we are going to get a lot of whipsaw. What we want is strong moves at the open and then pull back. That's fine, but make our money on that move. What we're getting, unfortunately, we've had today, obviously, is a whipsaw. But for the last few days on the Dow, we haven't had that, have we? Like I said, today, it would be today, wouldn't it? But look how choppy the Dow is at the minute. You pick this last, what? Let's go back to this green candle here, which is the 26th of January. If you look at the 26th of January, up until yesterday, which is this candle here. And you look at the wicks. And literally since that day, or that day here, all we've literally done is that for weeks now on the Dow. It's just what it's done is the Dow, up until today, what the Dow has done is at the open, it's gone and then it's retraced the entire move, or it's gone like that, retraced the entire move. What we've had today is that. And probably it will put in a bull or a bear run, but it's too late for me. I'm out. So it's just done it in reverse. But we are sideways. Look, there is a lot of indecision. These wicks are huge at the minute. It's a massively volatile market with no direction. So, you know, you really need to be in and out fast. And that's not what the ORB strategy is all about. The ORB is about catching those breaks. Just not going to get it with this type of market when it's like this today. But yesterday, as you say, yesterday was. Look at the size of yesterday's move compared to today's. We're an inside bar at the moment. But you could not fail to make money on a move that big, because as long as you can hold it, you're going to make the money. It's the days where we get this fast whipping that, you know, you just get chopped. But, you know, you can't win them all. Look at it. So there's your 15-minute open. Since the 15-minute open now, for the last 1 hour 15 minutes, we have literally gone nowhere. Literally sideways. You know, like I say, you either need to be in and out on the same candle or walk away. And if you're going to be in and out on the same candle, you better than me. Not my kind of trading. Aussie CAD long on support, ADR and H1 RSI. Yeah. So Canadian dollar is getting a rally off the back of the US. So you just need to be aware that as long as the US is pushing, the Canadian dollar will push. But hourly RSI extension and ADR looks good. So take the 5-minute reversal alert when you get it. You haven't had one yet, so don't get long yet. Wait until you get the reversal alert. If this pushes down and makes a new low, your reversal alert is going to be here. So don't get in yet because you haven't had a reason, no signal to go yet, is there? It's still pushing down. So until that starts to push up, that's not a long. But yeah, it looks good, potentially. It's a nice level, double bottom. If that doesn't hold, though, gold has hit ADR. So on the hourly, if that level fails, you've got one backup level here, but I mean, that is not really, not particularly exciting, that level, is it, really? So your next level of support is here. So 175. So if you get in here and it fails, that's your propulsion target. You've got pretty much an ADR drop ahead of you, potentially. But this is the next area I would expect to see some a good, decent support bounce at. But that's not a problem, is it? So you get in there, get in half an ADR, you get in again, you get out on the push. Nicely extended. 4 hour. By the time you get down to there on the 4 hour, you'll also be extended on the 4 hour, which will mean it's ready for a pullback. But yeah, it looks good. 4 hours solid down. 4 candles solid down. But plan the next move, yeah. So just watch it, obviously, for where it's going next. You know, whenever you get into any trade as a position trade, first thing that goes through your head is, where are we going? If this works, if this doesn't work, where are we going? And plan how to get in. If you're using the market reversal alert EA, it doesn't matter. The EA will do this for you anyway. It will scale you in as we drop, and as we get signs of strength coming through, it will just keep getting you in. So, but if you're trading it manually, obviously you just need to plan where you're going to get in. Yes. I'm getting to the point now where I'm thinking I just want to stop scalping. I've had enough. Scalping is just very, very hard work on you mentally. It's very rewarding when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's just like getting beaten up in a boxing ring. Right, so you've got to say that is a short. So if you are going to have another go at this today on any instrument, it doesn't look anywhere near as pretty on the NASDAQ. I suppose it is on the 15. It is not bad. Yeah, look at these wicks. Yeah, that Globex high we were not interested in. Since we've not been interested in the Globex high, we haven't even been interested in attempting the Globex high on the NASDAQ. This looks massively heavy. Like I said here, it looks heavy. It's just giving completely mixed messages. So if you're going to trade it, I would skip up to 15-minute or maybe even higher and try and just get a trade on that you can hold and get an ad. So a short with a stop, a decent stop, not on the high. I'd give it a bit of room to come and spike you out because that's what it wants to do today. And then look to add. Because if that does go, you're going to have a nice short on your hands, but don't get too aggressive. When we're seeing whippy sessions like this, you've got to go out into higher time frames and look at the bigger picture and think, right, what is this thing doing? At the moment, all we've done literally is liquidate everybody in Globex. Anybody that's entered long or short throughout the entire Globex session today is dead. So the market is literally a coin flip long or short where we are. However, the wicks look like it's short because the buyers are certainly not making anywhere near as much progress as the sellers are. So, and you've got a fair old drop. NASDAQ. Yeah, you've got a long way to go back down to yesterday's low. Dow. When you break that low, you got an ADR. Possibly this level. But yeah, so, there is a really good risk reward trade there if you can take it. But if you're going to take it, what I would do is get in, put your stop in, put your TP in, shut your chart and walk away and come back and see if you made money later. Because if you watch this afternoon, it's going to drive you through the wall. It'll drive you mental because I get the feeling we're going to be this choppy all the way. Either that or it's just going to collapse and it's going to go boom, boom, boom. And that's it. You're done. US dollar yen AER. Still pushing the US. Again, another reason to short the indices. US dollar strength usually equals index weakness. Today, though, not playing by the same rules, is it? So I sometimes equate scalping to my prior marriage. Yeah. Did you get beaten up in your prior one? But yeah, it's a frustrating game. And this is the thing that annoys me about education. There's a few good courses out there now which focus on the hourly charts, 4-hour charts, which is where you're going to make your money. But virtually all trading courses out there focus on 5-minute timeframes, the chop, because you can make quick bucks on it. And it's all about making the quick buck, isn't it? And that's what scalping is. It's making a quick buck. And there's some, it's doable. But I think you really need to use EAs to do it. If you're watching it and trying to do it manually, it drives you mental. Or it can do. But then on those days where you get that huge move, where it just goes all day, it's massively, massively rewarding. But you've got to sit through the crap, unfortunately. Which is where the 15-minute opening range break works the best. But today, your 15-minute opening range, you've gone short, stopped out, you've gone long, and you are long at the moment. So you've had one short fail and you're currently long in drawdown. Depending on where you've set your end of trading, there's a good chance that you're not going to get in the next short. You're going to get stopped out on the long. Okay. JC, question on the ADR reversal indicator. How difficult would it be to add history to be able to see multiple days? Do it in the strategy tester. It doesn't do that. You can't do it because they move, the lines move. So all you would ever get in history is where the lines were at the end of the day. So look at something, what's hit ADR big today, euro pound. Yeah. So what you would get is that on your chart. Yeah. So the distance between these two lines is 23 pips. This is a 55 ADR pair. So you would get this view, assuming this is where it ends today. Obviously, if it pushes all the way up to there today, then this line is going to cross that line. If it gets to 200 ADR, the lines meet, because obviously it's a dynamic indicator. It changes with price. So seeing historical ADR levels doesn't help you. A lot of days where you get a double-ended ADR hit, you wouldn't know which one hit first. Well, you would, because of you'd be able to see which way it went from the Asian session, but it doesn't help you seeing this on the chart, which is why I don't have it on historical. It doesn't help you. The best way to use the ADR indicator is in the strategy tester. I've got some results in here. Is to go to the indicator and use the indicator in the strategy tester. And just watch it. You know, watch how it adjusts, watch how it works, basically. It's probably going to be very fast because it's on control points. Whoa. Yeah, so just, you know, you watch how it adjusts, so you can see it moving. Oh, this is awful on control points. You see how the ADR line moves? I'm just trying to find a day where we get 200 ADR. We're not going to get one. But anyway, see, that was probably an ADR hit there. 750. No, it wasn't 800, but oh yeah, well, no, it was, yes, 53 ADR. So that would have been an ADR hit. But it doesn't really help you seeing it historically. Because you can't draw the ADR line from, if you draw the ADR line from the open, that is not ADR. That is just measuring the average distance from the open. The average daily range is the distance traveled in the day, not distance from the open. So I can understand if it was like if it would be a pivot basically then, wouldn't it? So you might as well use a pivot indicator and set the pivots up to be ADR. See, this moves as we move up in price. To get down there is 100% of an average daily range, 67 pips from the high to the low. If the high keeps getting higher, it's the distance 67 pips from wherever it is down to there is an ADR hit. So that is an exhaustion point. So, and that will move. So all you will ever see is a line there and there, assuming it does that all day. At that point, when the market closes, you'll get a line there and there. It doesn't give you any information that's any useful at all for backtesting. I've got, this is an ADR reversal trader. This is a an EA I built ages ago, which I was just testing. And basically, it's an old grid trading system, which grid trades ADR. And I found it, and I was just playing with it today. So it's basically similar premise, but it will grid trade ADR. So basically, it just scales in and out of positions. And I was just testing the profitability of it, basically. But the trouble with it is, obviously, because it's not using any kind of reversal signal, it places pending orders. If price just slams through the price levels, all that happens is you just end up getting into one massive drawdown. Whereas obviously with the reversal alert, it only gets you in when there's buying strength. So this is why grid trading doesn't work very well. Whenever I've tried any grid trading EAs, if you're using a grid at set distances, they never really work, because if you get a fundamental shift, for example, like that, I do not want to get into 3 positions when something's coming down like a steam train against me. I want to get in when it's showing signs of reversing, which is what the market reverse alerts indicator is there for. It's designed to signal on strength, not signal on weakness. So grid trading inherently has that issue where you will just get into positions as it collapses in front of you. It's like trying to catch a falling knife, which is going at 1,000 miles an hour. It's just not going to happen. So I was just doing some further testing with it. I just wanted to remind myself how this works at the moment, because I'm potentially thinking about putting some kind of reversal signal using fractals or something in there, and getting rid of the old grid. But works pretty well. But that's all the optimization I was doing, the testing, trying to find, if there was a way to do it with grid trading. But the best I can get is kind of like a 6R return, which isn't bad. But that's an outlier. Most of it is not that good. It's 3% drawdown for a 5% return, etc., and it's just not great. So scrap the idea. This is what I spend my life doing, mucking about. Building stuff, tinkering. God, I'm really glad I'm not into cars, because I'd spend my entire life under a bonnet. Right, I'm going to call it a day there. So taking one on the chin today, unfortunately. But as I say, if you are going to get into this, it certainly looks like a short to me at the moment. However, I don't know. So there's a good chance we will do that for the entire session and not go anywhere. So we'll see. But if we do that for the entire session and not go anywhere, tomorrow will probably be an explosive one. So just be aware of news overnight. We've got the unemployment figures for Australia. So if you've got any Aussie exposure on, you need to be aware of that. And obviously be careful with Aussies. If you've got any in profit before you go to bed, that's worth locking some in or taking some off the table. And then tomorrow afternoon, we've got the PPI figures. So again, another important figure for the US. We've had nothing but positive for the last 4 news releases for the US. So if we get positive PPIs tomorrow, we should expect another big, strong day on the US. So it could be a really big one for the US this week. We could easily see a collapse out the bottom, which is why I'm sort of saying, be very careful with these mean reversions. If you're going to get into any mean reversions on the US, try and get out of them today or tomorrow morning, because if you get another good news event, you're going to be in trouble on these. So you want to be buying the US against stuff, not selling it, really. All right, so have a good day if you're going to carry on. If not, I will see you tomorrow. Back for the DAX. Hopefully we'll make some money out of the DAX tomorrow morning. I'm not doing my spin class tomorrow, so I will be here on time because my shoulder is still in agony. So I'm not doing any exercise at the moment, which is great because I'm eating lots because I'm not sleeping. So I'm turning into a beach ball. But anyway, I will be back to it as soon as I can. So have a good one. ORB style EA for the Asian session, possible. You can use the ORB EA on the Asian session. So yeah. You can just set the times to the Asian times, whatever you want to set to. This will trade anything, anytime. Yeah, all it's doing is you're saying, start monitoring the range here, stop monitoring the range here, place pending orders. So if you want to use this in the Asian session, do it. it will do that already. The only thing that controls the opening range is those times, and they're all fully adjustable. So you can do whatever you like with the opening range of Breakout EA. You can. Some people are using this on Forex to trade the London Open. It's not something for me, but I mean, you can use it whatever you want. It's just a Breakout EA, so you can adjust it. It's obviously it's designed to trade the initial cash balance on the indices, but at the end of the day, it's just a range. So yeah, if you want to use, the trouble with the Asian session is a lot of people use mean reversion EAs on the Asian session because most of the time you are getting ranges in Asia, apart from when there's news, obviously. So a good way of using this, tomorrow morning, 12:30 a.m., which is for me 2:30 a.m. broker time. You could use the pre-market open, so you could use the pre-market session from 12:15 to 12:30 to do a news trade if you wanted to. So again, if you set this to be 15 minutes before that news, and then at the point of news, you can do a news trade using it as well. There's all sorts of ways you can use it. It's very versatile for any breakout. Use hourly ranges, 4-hour ranges. So you could basically bracket the Asian. So you could set this up to trade from 0 from midnight until the end of the Asian session, and it will take an Asian breakout for you. Do what you like with it. So yeah, it will already do all of that. Okay, I'm off. So anything you need, let me know. I'll be in the Telegram group. Otherwise, back tomorrow for the DAX. And yeah, hopefully we can get a decent move tomorrow morning. All right. Have a good one. Good luck if you're going to trade this afternoon as well. And I will see you tomorrow.